What if tomorrow you woke up and just like that, you had the body you've always dreamed of? Your health was on point, energy levels were high, and your confidence, through the roof. Completely Possible Fitness wants you to know that it's possible to change your life and make your dreams come true. We specialize in weight loss, muscle building, functional training, group exercise, and nutritional advice. Don't let another day go by not having exactly what you want. Contact Copo Fit and let us help transform your life. Copo Fit is on all social media, or you can email us at copofit@gmail.com. That's COPOFIT@gmail.com. Do you love drama as much as I do? Plot shifts and heart-pounding turns will keep you enthralled in the new book, Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Dana and Marshall are drawn to each other, but their flame has a tendency to burn and splinter all that once mattered, quite possibly even each other. Will they make it through the debris or become part of the ruins? Find out when you purchase your copy of Soiled Sheets by Phoenix Ash. Now available via Amazon Books and all Kindle devices. And it's free with Kindle Unlimited.
You're tuned in to Say What Radio with your hosts, Justin, Taz, and the other guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Say What Radio. I'm going to just start with this one and just say the headline, see what you say. Baseball coach is suspended after he forced his players to spit in his face.
He lose damn job.
A Greek man was convicted of stealing electricity despite being dead. Yeah, convicted him after he died.
So he didn't do it before he died.
Yeah.
No, okay. What is that? Over.
It's me.
Say what? Say what one more goddamn time.
All right. It is Wednesday night, so you know what time it is. Say What Radio's coming at you guys. Got your girl Justice here, bringing you another movie review, courtesy of Warner Brothers Studios this time. Just go ahead and jump right into it. I got the chance to see the DC movie Shazaam at an advanced screening almost a couple weeks ago. And just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of what I thought about the movie, what I liked about the movie, and whether or not you should go see it, honestly. So let's start with the tone. There's been a well-documented history of DC movies continually to get the tone of the character that they're portraying incorrectly, thereby making the moviegoing experience just a little bit rough for a lot of people who are there to just be entertained, and they get kind of like a rough, gruff type of movie. Now, for The Dark Knight, what Christopher Nolan did was basically revamp the superhero genre, and a lot of people wanted to piggyback off that and thought that that was the way that you needed to go, where Marvel went the complete opposite. They still had serious tones, but for the most part kept it lighthearted and funny. There are a few misfires with DC. I myself did not dislike Man of Steel as much as a lot of people did. I thought it was different and kind of took it for what it was. Unfortunately, for something like Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, that just went completely left and was so dark and confusing, and the plot points weren't explained well enough. And you actually had to see a director's cut, which I believe added in almost an hour or 45 minutes extra of footage to be able to understand what was going on. And I get that studios will attack a movie to show what they believe is the feel or the whole picture that they were trying to portray for the movie. But if the director is the one helming this and you cut out everything that he was supposed to be saying or wanted to say, then you get something like Batman vs. Superman or Justice League, and it just didn't feel right. Justice League had two completely different tones and it just didn't work. Whereas you have gems like Wonder Woman and Aquaman that had the tone perfect for those particular characters and let the cast basically play up to their strengths and allowed the movie to flow that way. I believe they hit another home run with Shazam in this instance as well. If you guys heard my previous review of Captain Marvel, I thought that the way it was portrayed and, sentiments and tones within that movie weren't done the best way. Whereas in Shazam, everything that you were thinking about the movie is completely turned on its head. It is a great, fun, interesting, lighthearted movie with some dark, heavy type themes running interwoven within it, but it's still handled in a perfect way. It's not like, oh my God, this is some heavy shit. This is getting super dark. This is supposed to, it's got kids and stuff in it, but it just tackles it in a way where people are still entertained, but they're still going like, okay, this is interesting. Where is it going? Another thing that I thought was great, it kind of just always had this feeling of there's a lesson coming. What is a lesson that's going to be taught? I want to see it. Whereas in other movies, that there's a lesson being kind of shoved down your throat and you're just like, at that point, and you just don't want to, necessarily listen to it or deal with it for the most part. But in this movie, since it is centering around kids and kids' wishes and their wants, trying to figure out the world as they're growing up, it works. It really, really does. And I believe that the actors' chemistry parlayed into that as well. You have Zachary Levi from the NBC show Chuck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people probably know him from that, but he's also in the Amazon Prime show Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is an amazing show as well. One of those just like, what type shows. It's really funny, really smart, really cute, and just kind of blows you away from the first couple of episodes. But he's great in that as well. And he bulked up a lot for this movie, and you saw his workout regime on Instagram. He was documenting it, but there were a little controversy surrounding his suit when when these stills were put out for promoting the movie. Everyone saw that it was a padded suit and it didn't look right. And he was just saying, this isn't a padded suit. Don't get everything twisted. This is all me. But you could still pretty much see within the movie that this was somewhat of a padded suit in some areas and things like that. But you could also see that, oh my God, he looked great. I don't even know how to put it. He looked great. But also it was just kind of great to see him parlay off of the children as well. Asher Angel, which actually plays the kid Billy Batson, Zachary Levi playing Shazam, grown-up Billy Batson. And if you don't know, okay, let me explain that as well. So Shazam is a DC character that is based upon Superman for the most part. It is, what if a kid was able to just wish to be Superman one day? And it's Billy Batson. Billy Batson gets his superpowers from a wizard, and the wizard then, not the wizard gives him, the wizard gives him superpowers. The wizard gives him superpowers, and at that point, Billy will go on and do everything that every little boy who is out there who wishes to be Superman one day pretty much does. But he does it as he's trying to learn it. Superman went through that as a boy, learning to be an alien on an alien planet and just realize, hey, I have superpowers. Whereas he's a kid who just changes into a grown man whenever he says this name and just kind of has to learn how to do superpowers as a grown, while just being a grown man every now and then whenever he says this. What I found funny, and I discussed this with my co-host, D, because he actually went to go see it with me as well. It was so funny. He could never tell anyone his name because it'd be like, okay, my name is Shazam. You turn into a grown man. Your name is what? Shazam. You turn into Billy Batson. What the hell? You have to write your name or just have it on a card or whatever. You could never actually say it out loud. I found this to be a little funny. Thinking about it, like if he was to ever do interviews, and once you see the movie, you'll understand what I'm saying. It was a little cute thought process that I had going on. Also, Jack Grazer plays Billy Batson's best friend within this movie. And just the three of them together, the entire cast, I will say the entire cast of this movie was put together perfectly. And until everyone comes together, you don't realize that. And once they do, you see the entire webbing of everything come together. And it's so great. And the chemistry is awesome. And it works. It really, really works, because if you were to see all of these people's names on a piece of paper and you're like, so what are they going to do? But you see this movie and you're like, that I can't see anyone else doing this stuff. This was just absolutely perfect. I loved the family sentiment within this movie. Family was very, very big in it. And that makes it a family friendly film. I think that most people going in, when they go into the Marvel movies, they're really believing that, hey, this is okay. This is a kid-friendly film. This one is as well, but there are some things that I think a couple kids may be a little bit about. I won't spill that or whatever, but it's some heavy stuff. You know, there are a couple of kids that'll probably be asking their parents some questions later, but for the most part, the rest of the tone is balanced within that. So it's just, you kind of not necessarily turn a blind eye to it, but you forgive it for it and say, okay, this works within that. This is why it makes it so much better. It's like the little, that, you know, the Salt Bay drop on it just to make it just a little bit better. You know, friendship and, like I said before, family is just so greatly interwoven into the story. And I love how they let it play out. Also, I will say that the movie did not seem like it was as long as it was. There were some parts in it where it lagged a bit, but I generally was entertained the entire time. I cannot tell you how every single maybe frame I was just going like, this is amazing. I was so blown away, but it may have been because I went in with no expectations. I did the same thing with Captain Marvel and was disappointed. But with this, I went in with no expectations. I did the same thing with Aquaman, and I love that one as well. It ended up being just a great movie where, you know, it's a kid going through tough choices, having to learn how to do something and be a person that he never in his wildest dreams could have ever thought about being, and be a man at that point as well, because even though he is a kid, he's seen as a man, which is, I thought, some great themes that, you know, play into things that are going on within the world today, especially with young men being gunned down by authority figures and things like that. So I love just being able to see the fantasy of all of it. And had anyone said to me maybe 6-7 years ago when this came out that this would be such a good movie, I would have totally drop kicked you in the throat and said, you're on something. There's no way. This movie was just such a fun ride. It was funny, but not goofy funny. It was a perfect mix of such an out there character, and just, I really think they hit it out of the park with this one. I do feel that it may not hit like the $1 billion mark. It'll do a good job. And the only reason I say it may not hit the $1 billion mark is because they released it a little too late. I really wish they'd have released this maybe 2 weeks ago when I was able to see it as an advanced screening, because Avengers Endgame comes out soon. And at that point, it's not going to be able to get the run like Aquaman did. So I really, really wish that they would be able to have released it then. But either way, I do think it's going to do well. I would say this is a double thumbs up, A-, B+ movie. Well, I'll say B+. I will say B+. It's a very good, fun movie, and it's one that you can take your kids to. You'll be laughing your butt off. Your kids will be laughing their butt off. And it also just brings up that hope and wish and playfulness of a child of what would happen if I had this. It has, you know, elements of Aladdin with Iron Man, Superman. It's so great. So I thoroughly recommend this movie. And as always, please continue to follow us on social media. Say What Radio for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, the biggest compliment you guys can give us is to really, really, really share, like, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, thumbs up on Facebook, everything. Tell your family, friends about the show. We may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hey, let them listen and we can come to an agreement. You know, you like this, don't like this. But that was funny. Yes, it was. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out this country, mother. The fuck is that? Say what again?